What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. I'm glad that you could join the community this afternoon. If you're not familiar with the Den is the greatest conversation, best conversation, greatest, however you want to look at it. It's all the same. Conversation on the internet. And the reason why it's the greatest conversation on the internet is because of you, the Den folk, the Den generous, the denizens, the friends of the Den who just make it such a wonderful conversation each and every, weekday and every evening. So I'm glad that you could join me this afternoon. It's a free range Friday. We're going to try this again. We started it last week. I'm trying to maybe keep the Fridays themed a little bit. We do Friday nights, talking dirty after dark. Got a couple interesting topics for that for the next few weeks, however that goes. We're going to try to free range Friday in the morning. So that way, basically, free range Friday is anything that may have been missed throughout the week, any topics of conversation that, wanted to be brought up, that wanted to be spoke on, and that may have been missed, So, feel free to discuss whatever you want. But again, hey, let's get to the proper protocol. Shout out to Culture, because like I say, I appreciate this, making my life easy. I guess I should have did that while I started talking. So like I say, we're just gonna talk about whatever's on your mind, right? And then we'll see who we have joining us. I see Ruby Roo, DeMarkey, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, Angela, Nikki motherfucking Nicole, what's the motherfucking deal? And yes, the little white dog's in the house, but he's laid up on the little, what do they call that shit, ottoman or whatever it is. Bad and Bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us this evening. Or afternoon, afternoon. I don't know. Damn, it's evening somewhere. Y'all leave me alone. So, like I say, we will talk about it. Simply Deep, what's the motherfucking deal? Kanisha, what's the motherfucking deal? Yes, risk-taking internet associate. Yes. I like that. So like I say, nothing necessarily too specific on the mind. There's a lot of stuff that has been going on in the world. Thoughts. I love talking about thoughts. Thotties. I remember when that word first started circulating. Maybe it was in the young community for a while. But when I first heard it, I was like, what the heck? This is the stupidest word I've ever heard. And then it just became a thing, and it somehow inserted itself into my vocabulary. It couldn't be avoided. If you want to communicate with the youth these days, you have to talk about thoughts. Dolores Law, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us today. And I owe you 1,000 stachios. I was trying to give it to you today, but it wouldn't show up. So let me make sure I give you your. Oh, no wonder that's why it wouldn't show up. I was spelling it wrong. Okay. Honcho. I gotta make sure I keep my accounts up to date. So thoughts. Is that a more appropriate word than saying a hoe? Back in the gap, it was always hoes, all them hoes. But I mean, you're saying, I guess it's what is the acronym, that hoe over there? I guess maybe it was supposed to be low key initially, and then it just kind of blew up and maybe became a worldwide thing. Maybe everybody knew. And female pimp, you are a free range chicken. Yes, I deliberately stalled out on giving you your shout out just because I like to give you a hard time. I don't know. Miss Bad and Bougie said, let's talk about thoughts. And I didn't, I don't know. I'm just curious. Like I said, it's free range, so it's no particulars. Whatever's on your mind, whatever you guys want to discuss, whatever topics you want to think about. I know a couple folks that hit me up, and I normally don't talk sports in the Den, but if you are a Kansas City Chiefs fan and what's going on with the NFL with Tyreek Hill, who allegedly is the guy that broke his kid's arm, they didn't have enough evidence to charge him, and so they didn't bring a case against him, so the NFL's not going to suspend him, and now the Chiefs are talking about an extension when a lot of audio has come out with him threatening, I think his wife and the kid. Like I said, I haven't listened to all of it. Let's be honest, man. You know when a motherfucker did some shit, when a motherfucker didn't, and it's crazy because this makes me go all the way back to Shady last year, but we'll get back to that. It's crazy how, I'm a sports fan, right? And I talk about, I really don't give a shit as long as you're not harming anybody. I don't give a fuck what anybody does. I don't care if you fucking strippers. I don't care if you're smoking weed. I don't care if you, well, I might care if you're doing cocaine. If you playing like LT and you're doing cocaine and shit, I don't really give a fuck. But I don't really care as long as you're not harming other individuals. But when you're talking about situations of domestic violence and things like that, it starts to get questionable. Like, they eviscerated Ray Rice for his situation, but there was evidence, there was proof, and I think that's what made it so much worse. Because obviously she wasn't tripping because she stayed with him. But Tyreek Hill situation where if you broke the arm of your own child, that's a fucking problem. That's a big problem. And for there to be no consequences, no punishment, and of course, we know what it is. Hey, star players get star treatment. That's just the way it works, right? You've seen players get punished for less, and that's what's concerning, because the picking and choosing that's going on. There's been situations where players did not, maybe get found guilty in a court of law or whatever, but the NFL still punished them. So that's the crazy shit. Like, look, I want to see great athletes play sports and do all that other shit, but not at the expense of them just having free range to do all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't really care. I don't necessarily care as long as you ain't doing it on the screen, as long as you ain't on TV, Tiger uppercutting your kid and beating your wife and tooting it up, and you got strippers on the sideline. Hey man, don't do all that shit. But when you got a situation like this, it becomes very concerning. It's crazy how it seems like the media is willing to kind of, brush this one under the bus. When last year, who was the Shady McCoy was allegedly beat the chick up with no proof. He wasn't even in town. I think she was just crazy because he was kicking her out of the fucking house. She was used to laying up. And they talking about, oh, he beat the dog. Here come the home girl. She all in the story and shit. Like, that's what I say, man. I'm not sitting here saying every man is doing right? But a lot of these bitches, you see a lot of this shit. A lot of these motherfuckers are out for a come up. I mean, it is what it is, right? A lot of these motherfuckers out for the come up. They out for the lifestyle because they wouldn't be fucking with no nigga that couldn't provide them these things. And as soon as you see them about to lose that opportunity at the lifestyle, and he wasn't even with her anymore. He was letting her stay in the house. I don't even think she was paying rent in there. I don't even think she had the lights on. Like, and she was trying to sue him because he was basically evicting her from the house. And then it was about a day or two before the eviction. Then all of a sudden, she gotten beat up and robbed. Like, I feel like that was an inside job. You know what I'm saying? Who muting R. Kelly? You can't stop R. Kelly. But I feel like this. Consensual sex and domestic violence are two completely different things. Anything involving children, I'm going to take an adamant stance against. Anything involving people under the legal age of making decisions, I'm going to take a stance against. If you're 18, okay, I know motherfuckers, oh, that's young, I'm old, men with them. Hey, if you're 18, you're legal, you can make certain decisions, you can get charged as an adult, you can go smoking with cigarettes, do hood rat shit with your friends. I'm not gonna be. Yeah, when you're 18 and up, do what you do. I knew what I was doing at 18, making bad decisions. Didn't want to listen. Thought I knew everything. So at that point, you got to start learning about life at 18. That's another thing I want to get into, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, like the kids thing is there's no coming back from that. But also these parents need to be involved, because why is your kid out there running the streets with no supervision? Like, there's nothing that you're doing that's that important. I don't care, even if you are taking care of the household or whatever it may be, there you need to find a proper solution to have your kids under proper guidance, management, whatever the fuck it needs to be, Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody, it is, but the law. Because if I start saying, 60, well, you're a pervert. So I'm just trying to find a broad brush that I can paint these strokes with. Oh man, trust me, I know. Oh, I know. But here's the thing I talk about too. And then, like I said, whatever y'all want to talk about, if y'all want to throw it in the topic in the chat, if y'all want to discuss something, and when I open up the line here shortly, if you want to text the line, that's fine. And we'll talk about, like I say, it's Free Range Friday, so whatever's going on, we'll talk about it. there's a thing that bothers me. I think I'm gonna save. No, I think before I get it, I think I'm gonna save a special conversation for that. I think I am. Bob Kelly. It was something I saw that somebody sent me. Oh, one that the twerking Elmo shit. That shit is ridiculous. Shout out to napping motherfucking Nicole. She woke up to send me that, and then she went back to sleep. But that shit is despicable, and that's what I'm saying. You know, one, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but there's a Elmo and a Cookie Monster. I'm assuming a children's party, right? Because why would they have these characters at it unless it's fucking nostalgia party for some old person, right? And you know they out there playing. I don't even know what the song is. It sounds like some type of New Orleans bounce. And ain't nothing wrong with bounce music. Ain't nothing wrong with music if you're an adult and you know you're doing adult things and you making the right. You know, if you're an adult, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. But you got babies and kids staring at these fucking Elmo shits, twerking and getting down on the floor. You know, and my thing is, one, why are you playing this kind of music around children and then wondering why they fucking pregnant at 12, 13 years old? And then you mad at them. Like, ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no motherfucking way. Like, again, like I said, I don't understand how people don't see this foolishness. And I know you can look at the characters and like, well, why are they doing this shit? Well, they're getting paid for a job, right? And I'm not condoning, I'm not relinquishing them of responsibility. There has to be a point where you say, nah, we ain't finna do all that shit. But you get paid for a job, and you know, depending on if you're an independent worker or if you're working for a business or whatever, you know, you want good reviews, blah, blah, blah. You know, niggas will shame you for anything, and they be the ones that did you bad. You give them a discount, they still be upset with some shit, and they'll still try to talk down on your service. I'm not talking about how terrible of a customer they were, but anyway, that's another conversation. And they doing this foolishness, man. Which conversation was that? Pussy popping punch at the party. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, and here's the deal, and this is why I say this is very important. You notice that in that video you sent, how many men did you see? Now, I don't know if the motherfuckers in the costumes, you never know these days what they were. But how many men did you see in that clip? And again, like I said, I don't know if everybody's seen it. It's out there, but not very many. And for those of you who didn't, because all y'all ain't seen it, so I guess I should explain. But this is why I say that there has to be a level where, you know, men have to start stepping up. You know, this is why your kids are doing what they're doing. This is why it's going on. I understand we talk about the courts and all these other things, but man, you have to do better to fight and be a part of your kids' lives, because this is the shit that's going on. Women ain't thinking nothing about it because they like the music. This is what they enjoy when they go to the club and they doing this, that, and the third. So they're not thinking nothing about it for their kids. These kids are getting indoctrinated with this bullshit. One, what's the motherfucking deal? Shannon Jones, we were talking about, ain't no men and no kids parties, goddamn. If it was any men at that party, they should have came outside and said, cut that shit. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, that they would look good. I'm not saying, oh, this is at every party. But this is that ghetto shit. And so niggas, you know, if you fucking with a ghetto ass chick, and you know she has ghetto ass tendencies, guess what? She's gonna pass those ghetto ass habits down to your kids. And you say, what is your definition or example of humiliation? Humiliation only occurs if you allow it to humiliate you. Now, humility is important in everything that you do. Being humble is important in everything that you do. But I think you can only be humiliated if you choose to be humiliated. If you accept what you've done in life and you embrace, you know, your path and your course, then it is what it is, you know. And so that's why I'm a big proponent. You know, I know folks was getting upset. We was talking about, you know, should there be a second segregation in the black community, and should black folks separate themselves from niggas? Like, I don't know, we've had this conversation, and I didn't get all the way into the pro-black conversation we were having the other day. And I'm mad that because the stream got all raggedy, it split up in two, so a lot of people watched the second one and were getting all mad. I don't like what you're talking about, but you didn't listen to what I was really talking about. You just heard you know, the second part of it. And if you know how any den starts, it starts off of me, you know, kind of doing a little bit of I guess not a monologue, but, you know, my little diatribe, and then getting into it. And so much people say, oh, I don't like what you're saying. You're saying this. I didn't say none of that shit. You heard incorrectly. And so instead of going back, and that's why I had to label them part one and part two, instead of going back and actually seeing what was being said and understanding the conversation, you know, you just chose to get in your feelings. But there's something to talk about, man, and it's unfortunate, but it's not like it's a permanent ban or anything. But I think, you know, black folks need to separate themselves. He says, oh, go work in black folks. It's true, man, it is. It's just been going on for years. And the problem is, black people, we have to separate ourselves from niggas, straight up and down. Straight up. Look, as soon as I say that, look, the shit start fucking up. YouTube don't want me to tell y'all to get right. YouTube wants y'all to keep watching World Star Fight videos and, you know, keep doing that niggerish shit so they can sell y'all some anything. I'm a firm believer, and I know a lot of people say, man, that's fucked up. I came from the hood, you know, yada, yada. A lot of people have affectionate memories of the hood. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you realize, hey, this is not an environment for anyone to grow. What's the same thing? Everybody complains about this, this, and this. Well, guess what? We live in the day and age of YouTube, social media, and all this other stuff. If motherfuckers start saying, hey, you know what? Fuck this. There's a mass exodus from supporting the niggerish shit and start promoting quality black shit. The niggas can go support that shit. Let them do what they do. Separate. Let them do what the fuck they do. You know what I'm saying? What's the motherfucking deal, Professor Trill? Let them do what the fuck they do. And that's not us. We don't associate with this shit. We not affiliated. We're going to build something over here. Now, once they get right and recognize and realize, now, yeah, you welcome over here. But we got to, like, it has to be a point where there's niggas got to, like, not niggas, black folks got to stop condoning nigga shit. Like, it cannot be cool. It cannot be acceptable. It cannot be embraced, because that shit is going to automatically get attached to you, because anybody outside of, for the majority of people outside of, you know, the black community, they're going to be like, man, they can't tell the difference. They can't tell the difference at all. And so that's the thing, that wear pants that fit. How dare you? It's, you're a closest. But, you know, my thing is just like, come on. It has to be a point where you just got to say no. And I'm not saying don't listen to the music. I'm not saying, but it's just like certain environments, certain situations where you know there has a propensity of ghetto activity being, can't support that shit, man. You can't support shit that continues to make us look foolish. Because again, let them people exterminate themselves. Let the black folks who are trying to do better build and provide more opportunity for themselves. Because, hey, Miss Grace, what's the motherfucking deal? I'm gonna say black people #1 consumer of everything, including fuckery and tomfoolery. Exactly. And that's the problem. Like, you know, because you'll sit here and have a conversation. I think this is the problem too, because we get so intertwined that messages get convoluted, they get distorted. But I think when you start seeing, you know, hey, when you start seeing black people remove themselves from certain environments, and then you see, okay, hey, why come these niggas over here is all doing well, man? What's going on over here? Why are they over here? And it's not saying that you necessarily have to be conservative about everything, but you do have to be disciplined in your action. When you're not exactly unbeaten, and it's not even about conservative or liberal, but there's segments of that conversation that are important. And then once you start saying, well, why are they? How are they? And why are they not worried about these problems? It is a painful thing. It's a very painful thing, because I know a lot of people have ties to the hood. They have connections. This is where I grew up. You know, I can't leave it. I can't leave it be. But if we are to benefit the future, you gotta separate. You got to. It's you cannot encourage. You cannot justify. You cannot, you know, support the ignorant behavior, because in the long term, it hurts us all. Like, you'll see niggas say, you know, I love the hood, I'm, you know, from the hood, yada, yada, yada. And then in the next breath sit there and repeat that the hood don't love nobody. Oh, that's just the way the hood is. Like, I know we argue about the cops versus the Black on black. You're gonna get violated by whoever you're around. That's just period. White on white. It's Mexican on Mexican. It's wherever you're at. You're most likely to get violated by people who are in your vicinity. So if you live in a primarily black neighborhood, you're gonna get done in by niggas. If you live in a Mexican, so it is what it is. But I know people don't like hearing that term, but let's be real about it, right? For us to be such a smaller percentage and a stagnant percent, the Hispanic population is booming, right? Growing. We do more damage to ourselves than anybody else. We do more damage to ourselves than anybody else. That is not something anybody can dispute. You cannot say, oh no, that's not true. Other people can. For the population, for the percentage of the population that we are, for the atrocities that we commit amongst each other, nobody's doing damage at a higher rate than we are. That is, to me, the most important thing. This is not saying that there are incidents with law enforcement that have to be looked at and regulated, but I don't think every incident that we get into, every incident that we push forth is, oh, it's super, like, sometimes, hey, you know what it is, you got to play your hand a certain way, you know, because it's not about having the last word. It's not about, you know, when I told him this, that, and the third. It's about walking away to see you to live another day and then handling it however you can. Like, come on, man, think smart. Like, stop. We got to stop thinking in the moment. Like I'm telling you, like I you know, been here and there and did this and that, and I knew a nigga because he felt like, I told you a story about the dude. I was doing some work over there in Sunnyside, and the house I was working at it was overgrown, bunch of trees. I'm talking about, it was a bunch of fucking work. It had to be like, took me like 2 days to get all that shit fucking cleaned up and moved out. And you know, the guy I was working for, he was there, and he was talking to I guess a guy he knew around the way, and he was like, man, I ain't seen you in a long time, man. What's up? What's been going on? Oh man, I just got out. I had to do, I can't remember if he said like 3.5, he's supposed to do 5, or he did 5, whatever. He's like, yeah, man, you know, a while back, man, you know, cop, he was telling me something crazy. You know, I ain't like what he was saying, so I had to put my hands on him, you know, but he understood me though, you know. So you telling me that it was worth 5 fucking years of your life to prove your point? Because your point didn't get proven. He went home that night. You went to jail for the next fucking 5 years. You were not a part of your community. You were not a part of society. You were not a part of your family. You did nothing valuable. And then obviously you didn't learn shit because you still feel like you were justified in your actions. That's part of my problem. We got to stop living in the moment and start thinking long term. What is the long term benefit of every action that we take, man? It's significant. It's impactful. So part of that is the problem. You can't really associate with niggas with that kind of mentality because that shit is permeating a large section of the population. When you could have just been like, all right, man, hey, whatever. Because it wasn't, I forgot what he said, because I don't think the cops would put a hand on him. He told the story, and it was the stupidest fucking story. So I'm like, basically, you were in a situation where you could have more than likely walked away for that shit, but you just had to prove a point because you felt like he was saying something that escalated into a situation, whatever. But hey, he whooped that cop's ass and then, you know, spent 5 years in jail. So, cool. Was it worth it? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. That's part of the problem, man. And again, and that's the thing, exactly. You gotta want better. Because trust me, there was a point in time I was cool with everything that I was doing. Well, fuck it. You cannot motivate and move those people. And the part of the reason why I think a lot of black folks, why we're moving so slow, is because those in the community who do well for themselves, they want to. Let me get this right, because that would be a bad analogy because you would actually be passing the baton. They want to grab the people who don't want to run. Basically, you know, it's like running a race, but you got to carry a nigga who don't want to move. You know, imagine a nigga, you got to drape a nigga across your shoulder while he playing on his phone or some shit. You got to run a race with a whole nother body on you, a lump of dead weight, because we want to bring them along, so we want better. But man, you got to almost say fuck it. And I know these are family members. These are, you know, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, you know, sometimes parents. But you got one fucking life. And my thing is like, what is the point of your life if you don't live it, if you living it for somebody else. And I'm not saying don't, make sacrifices. Don't be a volunteer. Don't try to help out other people. But you got one life, and the point of your life is to maximize your potential. Because what good is trying to do something for somebody else and you end up losing your life over it? Because we can sit here and we can talk about these martyrs and all this other shit, but when somebody fades out, it's hype for a little bit and then on to the next one. How many people still talking about Nipsey? You here and there, very rarely. Not the hype like it was when he died, when people really didn't give a shit, but it was the cool thing to talk about at that time. I'm still jamming Victory Lap, like on a regular. Like, that's still one of my favorite albums of all time. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I was the biggest Nipsey fan. I got put on Nipsey maybe 2 or 3 years before he got killed. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I've been down with Nipsey, but you saw a lot of people jump on that bandwagon and then fade away. So you can talk about all this shit you doing, all the shit that you got going on and wanting to do for people. And once you go and it fades away and people don't give a fuck, man. So I'm gonna open up the line. Again, it's free range Friday, so it's not just about this. I'm just kind of venting. So whatever y'all want to talk about, the line will be open to. You can talk about whatever you want to, and to me, like I say, part of it is talking about old buddy. That's what I meant to get to in the story, is that we don't value our life. That's why niggas ain't tripping on killing each other, because if you don't value yourself, you sure as fuck can't value somebody else's life, right? I don't give a fuck about myself. How the fuck am I give a fuck about you? How? Ain't no motherfucking way. I don't give a fuck what happens to me. I sure as fuck don't give a fuck what happened to you. And that's the problem. That's why I say a lot of the stuff, like, I know a lot of people feel certain ways about certain things and, they put certain messages, but I say you got to think about the wording and what you're saying. And especially in this generation of overly emotional children, people, whatever, you got to think about how you're wording things. Is what you're saying providing hope? Is it enraging? Is it a mental burden for some? Because like when you're sitting here talking about, oh, we can't do this and we can't do that, we can't do this, you already got a whole bunch of people who feel weak and powerless and all that. So when you compound that on top of that, a lot of those people give up. A lot of those people devalue themselves. A lot of those people don't give a fuck. That's why I say, man, look, you can't stop me from doing shit. That's why I try to tell people, hey, you ain't fuck all that racial shit, fuck all that other stuff. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do if you put your mind to it. That's why I say look at successful people. Stop looking at all the problems, stop all the slavery and all the oppression situations. Because when you overload your mind with that, some people take it and it inspires them and it motivates them. But let's be real. Obviously, the majority of people take that and they say, well, I ain't worth the fuck anyway. Don't nobody give a fuck anyway. And they don't give a shit. It doesn't inspire them. It doesn't motivate them. They settle for the bottom of the barrel ass shit. And to me, it's fucking sad, man. It's really upsetting, man. I want everybody to win. But the only way you're going to win is if you fucking want to win. I can't motivate anybody to win. I can't tell anybody to go do this, that, and the third to win. The only way you're going to succeed is if you choose to. And that's why I try to be particular in the message. But most people, but it's a double-edged sword, though, right? Because a lot of people, when you say certain messages, they'll go saying, yeah, this is true, we can't win because, these people are holding us back, these people stopping us, these people doing this and these people doing that. Or I don't want to talk about what about them people. I don't give a fuck what the other people are doing. I don't give a fuck what anybody else is doing because I'm not anybody else. Me. I'm black. I'm a black man. If they got some other situations that are newsworthy related, we're going to talk about it. But I can't go over to the Chinese and say, hey, well, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to shut down all these dry cleaners. We're going to stop selling all these hair products and everything else. No, I can't. I got nobody in that community is going to be like, you get the fuck out of here. We don't want to listen to you. Was that racist? Was that racist what I just said? It might have been. Oh, well. So all I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, yes, Miss Cardi, I will. All I'm saying is this, right? I'd rather tell a motherfucker you got all the control and all the power in the world to create your life than tell them that somebody's going to stop you from everything you do, because then it gives them the excuse not to do anything. Well, I'm not going to make it anyway because people are already looking for excuses why they can't win, why they can't succeed, why they can't propel, why they can't move forward. And if you give them other excuses that justifies, well, the reason I couldn't is because, such and such and so and so. That they would have stopped me from anyway. They wouldn't have let you make it anyway, man. Fuck that. Stop defeating yourself before you even take the opportunity, man. It's tough, but a lot of it is on us too. Because we talked about the other day about value in education. We don't. What do you see? You don't see people promoting their kid. Hey, look, he's reading. He's 2-3 years old. He's reading at a 4th, 5th grade level. We ain't putting that on social media. Hey, look, he's 2-3 years old. He can do the whoa. Oh, it's going viral. Low bars, easily attainable shit. Why is that? Why does that go viral? Because hey, that's something I can do too. You know, I can't Millie rock. I can't Honcho rock. I can't do any. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. You know, we promote low bar shit, and shout out to Miss Nikki motherfucking Nicole, because like I said, that's the problem. You know, you promote this bullshit. You promote this low level shit, and then you go out and want to command respect from other people. You give people the blueprint. You give people the instruction manual on how you're supposed to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And so shenanigans. And so that's the thing. You can't be tripping why people do you a certain way. Instead of Perry probably shouldn't be the best worker at the barbecue, but shit in the shop, can't read quickly. No, exactly, yeah. That's the thing. Man, nigga, what you know about that? I used to hate that shit. I used to be mad too. The fucking shit, life is over. Fucking anthem's coming on. Thank you for watching this day or whatever. Or your ass for be watching some old bullshit ass infomercials, you know what I'm saying? So, and DeMark, you don't know nothing about racism, you a racist. Having disrespectful ass kid a minute. Yeah, man, look. I'll take a page from the Baker Band playbook. Look, I'll fight a kid. I'll trip a kid. But motherfuckers think this shit is cute. Like, oh, look, the baby cussing. Oh, girl, you wild. And that shit, they getting it from you, from the shit that you doing, man. MASH, yeah, you know, you only had you only had a little bit. That's the funny thing. I used to watch a shit ton of MASH. I couldn't tell you shit about MASH. I don't know if MASH was probably a good show. I just remember it was it. You know what I'm saying? That was it. It wasn't too much going on after that. But, you know, they teach these kids to be disrespectful. You know, what was that shit that was trending about a month ago when school was ending? The teacher trying to give the kids awards or whatever. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Nah, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And then the parent gonna go run and grab the kid. Nah, don't go run and grab the kid now. Let everybody see how bad of a parent you are because you allow this kid to do this type of shit at home. This ain't no fucking new thing. You've been letting this kid do this type of fucking behavior. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's despicable. It's despicable. And then here's the thing, you know, and I'm not making excuses for people. People have common decency and common sense. But my thing is, I won't keep skipping. My thing is, most people don't have interactions like you do. Okay? There's a lot of people, even though this is an integrated society, that don't interact with a lot of other people. They only know what they see on TV, what they see on social media, you know, what gets pushed in the news, what they read in the newspaper. So I don't blame them. People can only be aware of what is the information that's provided to them. And that's what I was talking about the other night, about educating. When you have an opportunity, now if it's a flagrant file, depending on if it's a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2, hey, you're going to have to eject their ass out the goddamn game. That's just how it works. But if it's a common file, you know, you get 1, you might get 2, and after that, you finna be in foul trouble. You feel me? And so what I'm saying is that if a person makes a gaffe, pull them to the side. Hey, look, let me explain something to you. You know, this is inappropriate, or hey, what you said to me was offensive. You know, everybody wants to put people on blast. Everybody wants to make a show out of people. Everybody wants to embarrass people. I'm not that type of person. If I got an issue with you, man, I got access to you, I'm gonna pull you to the side. Hey, look, let me explain something to you. What you did right there, don't ever do that shit again. And let's make that the last time, because I don't care. Like, I remember had a man, like I told you, when I had to do some of that tomfoolery, and I did some dumb shit, and I had to go work at Mickey D's for a little bit. And I had a little manager, especially, he was a limp-wristed individual. But I ain't judge. It was just, it is what it is. That motherfucker looked like a goddamn turtle. Not a ninja turtle, like the turtle from Tortoise and the Hare when Bugs Bunny used to like the turtle without the shell. But anyway, and this nigga, like, it was busy or something, and I needed some change, or the register needed some money or something. It was getting low because we had a bunch of people come through, and he yelled at a nigga. So now I could have been on some real nigga shit, and I could have set it off in front of the whole fucking restaurant. But I hit the little dilly down and said, "Hey man, you need to come holler at me as soon as you get a break. I need, get some change or whatever." When he brought that change, and before he was about to, I said, "Hey man, let me explain something to you. If you do that fucking shit again, we're gonna have a real fucking, I don't give a fuck about you being a manager or none of that shit. Like, you gotta respond, this is your responsibility, this is part of your job. So, all I'm doing is making a simple request. Just because you annoyed or whatever you got going on, don't you ever raise your fucking voice at me again." Or whatever the situation may be, you just have to correct people and let them know. Again, we talk about how to be treated. But yeah, it starts with disciplining your children and instilling those values in them at a young age, and they learn. Because once it gets to a certain point, they don't give a fuck no more, especially in this social media day and age where they see all these other kids running wild and running free. I talk about the little one, she sees some of these other kids, and she's, it's not too many who looks like her in this environment. And so some of these other kids get away with a lot of shit. And I tell her, hey, look, guess what? There are going to be some people who get away with certain shit because their parents allowed them to get away with that. It's just not going to happen over here. It is what it is. I don't really care about how you feel about it. It's because this is a standard that we're going to have. If they want to let them, do this and do that, that's on them. They have to deal with that. But we have a protocol here, and this is what we're going to apply. And, like I said, I don't whoop her. I don't put any physical hands on her or anything like that. But them push-ups is a motherfucker. Them standards are a motherfucker. Wow. A granny at 36, that's terrible. Terrible. Y'all seen they got like I don't know. There's a new Ninja Turtle. But there used to be an old female turtle. But now they made a new female turtle that looks like a non-binary turtle. So 41, 6 grandkids still be, oh no. So, do you think your sister, like she had kids young, obviously, that she feels like maybe she missed out on a part of her youth and she's catching up on that? Because I tend to notice that a lot of the women who have kids really, really young, they seem to, and I'm not saying that they weren't good mothers, some of them are terrible mothers, some of them are good mothers and they sacrifice, and then some of them are just terrible, period. And they try to make up for that time that they miss, And hold on. But and so then you see they go back and they try to start living their lives for for what they feel like they missed out on because they had, kids young or whatever. And so, I apologize, it's slightly important. Okay, and so they feel like they missed out, and so they try to go back and make up for it. Now, me, it's kind of messed up because I don't want to say it's messed up because I'm sure, I don't know. I'm sure that, I don't know, my mom wants to be a granny or something like that, but she's in her 60s. But, man, I'm just telling you, the way the world is right now, I don't see it happening. I don't have no intentions of having any kids of my own. I'm happy being stepdaddy shark, because I can still leave a good influence on the world that way. Just the way that the country is trending with all this confusion and just all this defunct behavior and all this shit. the way that they're trying to encourage and sexualize these small children and all this other shit. Like, I've been caught a case, man. I would be caught a case behind just some dumb shit. You know, and it's funny because, like I said, my mom is what? Let me see, I'm 34, 64. She's either 64 or gonna be 64. She's either 63 or 64, somewhere up there. And, you know, it was something, it's her own fault though, because she used to always tell me, when I ain't gonna be no rocking chair. Hold on. But she said, I'm not gonna be no rocking chair grandma. And so that always instilled in me, well, damn, I can't dump my kids off on her. I don't want that. So, you know, it is what it is. And then I'll talk about Vegas and everything here in just a second. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. So, yeah, but like I said, I have a cousin, and he had kids young. So he's like in his 40s, 42, 43. He's already a grandpa. My other auntie, she was a grandma, young. Now she's, well, shit, no, not yet. Yeah, everybody, like almost, I won't say everybody. And the funny thing is, it's like, 'cause my family is, it's weird. It's weird. Like the one I said, my auntie, she had one young, but she kind of got her life together. And then, so she's super religious right now. The daughter that had her son young, she's super religious now. So she's kind of, she only had that one. And the kid he's super religious. He's got a good head on his shoulder. So it's not like they all just on some ratchet shit. So I mean, it is what it is. But then now the other auntie that I have that thinks she's better than everybody, her goofy ass, so worried about herself getting old and a bunch of other tomfoolery. Her oldest son that fucked around and fucked up, just graduated, don't know shit about life because he was a sheltered ass kid. And she used to let him drive around in her car, and so he would out to be, he was old lying ass little nigga, be trying to act like he got something going, you know, I got some money and, you know, this, and this in his mama car. And I guess he got him a little job. He used to drive the car to work, and one of them chicks at the job thought he had a little bunny. And he fooled around, I guess, not knowing what he doing, and fooled around, got her pregnant, so she finna be a grandma in her 40s. My uncles did pretty well. One of them, he ain't never had no kids, but he been in and out of jail, so there's that. My mom don't have no grandkids. My other uncle, his son, who's about 9 months younger than me, he got a kid a couple of years old now, so he's a grandpa. He's in his 50s, late 50s. And I think the youngest sister, her daughter just graduated, what is it, summa cum laude or something? Anyway, she just graduated, bought her own car from in high school. They talk about how stingy she is with her money, but she's doing excellent. So that's a wonderful thing. The other little kid, he's too damn smart for his own good. But for the most part, they've done all right. But again, I take that back to how my grandma raised them. I take that back even when we were in the hood. And that's why I say the hood is not an excuse. Because they came up in the hood, but they carried themselves differently from everybody else. And when you do that, you're gonna get a different result. And for the most part, everything has been all right. I mean, there's no big say shit. Hey, it is what it is. We extinct. Remember me like the dinosaurs, nigga. You know what I'm saying? T-Rex, nigga. Yeah, my mom got a dog. Shit. Yeah, she took over. She got a little dog. She loved that little dog. So it's all good. You know. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, trust me. I'm selfish, and I have no problem admitting that. I'm a very selfish person. Not in the sense of that I'll give anybody my last, but I'm just selfish in the sense of, I don't know. I don't think I could have any biologics. Like I said, I love the little one like my own. That ain't gonna never change. But I know that I only have certain leverage over that situation. But as far as me having my own, because I know that I would give up everything that I've ever wanted to do, even though I've been getting at it. Like, I'd give it up. If I had a kid, I'd give it all up. I wouldn't be the same. I'd change everything. I'd be so focused on doing any and every motherfucking thing to make. And that's not saying that I would now, but I just know that that little nigga came for me. I gotta change the game up. And so I'd have to fuck everything up, and I don't want to do that. I like being me right now. I like being me right now. Of course, Kenneth, you could never, because ain't no woman ever gonna want to sleep with you, Kenneth. So there's that. Vegas. Let's talk about it. Vegas. I gotta send the people, because I wish I gotta find a way to bring everybody together so the conversation could be unified. Because it's like, got people on the Facebook chat. I got people on Instagram. Got people via email here and there. So getting all the information regulated. But what it's kind of looking like is, as far as that, is everybody's going to basically. I know there's a few people said they all be down to get the B&B, and so I got a couple of them I looked at. I ain't never said y'all that information. And then as soon as we talk about it, let's get it. Let me take this call, then we'll get back to Vegas here in just a second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Man, it's your boy Roman.
Roman, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind there, Roman?
Man, well, it's really not me talking, man. It's me. Well, I just want to ask you a couple questions. 2 questions real quick, man.
Right.
First of all, man, how you feel about this $15 per hour that the House passed? And then the second thing, man, how you feel about these people? I know this caused a lot of controversy with it's I can't think of that woman's name, but one of the big four women, with AOC and them saying, oh, she needs to go back. So, my first question, how you feel about this $15 an hour? I know this still has to go through the Congress with man,
that
Mitch
shit ain't.
McConnell.
That shit ain't finna
He's
happen.
the majority leader, but how you feel?
That shit ain't finna happen. It is what it is. And the thing about it, even if they do it, it's supposed to be spread over a few years. And my thing is this: like, it sounds good, but that shit is not going to shake. Because here's the thing, like, if you look at some of these articles again, it's dumb. Like, it's going to be terrible for small business, medium, big business. The big business, McDonald's and all that shit. They're gonna be all right, but they still gonna, trust me, because you got to understand McDonald's. People say, "Oh, McDonald's, they got all this money." McDonald's is owned by a lot of independent owners. So what they're gonna fucking do is say, okay, right now, your average worker at Mickey D's might be making $20,000 a year. Maybe they already don't give overtime. They already don't do all that shit, right? So even if they are making $20,000, so now you tell me I got to double up their salary, and they're gonna be making maybe 30, 35, somewhere in that range. I'm just guesstimating without really doing the numbers. Oh, how much that new kiosk costs? That kiosk, what, $25,000? It lasts for a couple of years. It's gonna show up on time. It's gonna work. It's gonna be all that. Okay, let me get 2 of them hoes. I'm gonna fire 2 of y'all motherfuckers, and that's what's gonna happen with that. So, and then like I said, it's just gonna be so many complications, and the price of everything is going to go up with that, because what it is that you're gonna give motherfuckers who right now who are making minimum wage and barely doing anything on their job. Now you're gonna give them $15 to continue doing barely anything on their job, especially like say you're doing labor or something like that. You're not going to increase productivity. You're not going to enhance productivity. Now you're going to make these people lean further and further towards automation. They'd rather invest in a machine that's going to last long term, that is probably going to cost them maybe 2 years salary, but they're going to recoup that because, like I say, everything is going to be automated. So they know it'll be efficient. They know it'll be on time. They won't have to worry about any kind of additional health care or excuses or whatever else. I think it's a terrible idea, especially to jump to 15, maybe. If you're going to try to do it, implement it maybe to 10 or something of that sort. But even still, to just jump that high, I think is going to be bad for small business owners, because people think, oh, anybody who has a business, oh, they doing all right. Man, it's little mom and pop shops that they employees might make as much as they make when you talk about overhead and everything else that comes out of that. They might only be making $40,000, $50,000. I forgot what it was. There's I forgot what the numbers is, but it's like I forgot how many is it's so many small. I was looking at this shit like last week. So many small business, but the average small business owner makes between $40,000 to $45,000 a year. Period. So the thing about that is, and we're talking about of the millions of small businesses. So what you're talking about now is if I have an employee or two, and I got to double their salary essentially, or whatever it may be, even if it's a kid or whatever else is going on, I can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford that. And so it's going to raise the cost of everything. It's going to, like I saw somebody say, shrink the portions, and you're going to be out there. I think it's a bad idea. You know, personally, I mean, you got to figure out something, but I think it's a bad idea to just say we're gonna up the cost of everything. If you're doing that, you might as well go with what's his name, Yang Gang, and take the $1,000 a month, because it may not be as much overall. But I mean, at least it's injected. I don't know where he's getting the money from. I don't know what the plan is. He's a businessman; he'll figure it out. But at least you're injecting some finance into the economy. And when you're just raising everything, the cost of everything is going to go up. And you say NCA, the minimum wage is different for a small business under a certain amount of employees. But isn't that more difficult for that small business than when it comes to finding employees? Then, you know, somebody comes, works there for a little bit, gets a little experience, and they end up leaving to go get more money.
Like but think about it like this. Would you think of having these small businesses, right, and getting paid it by the $15 per hour? You wouldn't think that more people would work for them pops and them like mama shop pops, like they can get more employees to like grow bigger businesses?
But they can't afford it. A mom and pop shop, if you're telling me, now I know it's implemented over years, but let's just say, if I've been paying minimum wage, and then like I say, I have, like I say, you know, rent on a building, sales taxes on the items I'm selling or whatever it is. Especially with food places, there's very low margin. Like people think that these motherfuckers, they selling 1 million burgers. We only getting like a couple of cents off of each of these burgers or sandwiches or whatever it is that you're pushing. So the smaller businesses are going to have a hard time. Big business, they're not tripping because they have the money. They can absorb those kind of hits. But
McDonald's is never gonna lose their money.
No, they're not. And then like I said, if it came down to it, the owners, they gonna make enough money. Well, let me go ahead and buy I can put 30,000 on this machine, or however much it costs. I can put, you know, 40, 50,000 on this machine because I know it's gonna work for the next few years with some minor updates. The mom and pop shops, again, like I say, it puts them in a bad spot because, all right, because like I say, who said that? Was it Bad Bougie was saying in California that if you have under a certain number of employees, you can pay a certain wage. Well, that's gonna be less appealing to people who are looking for a job. They're gonna feel like, well, if I'm working entry level or bottom of the barrel shit, why I want to work at this mom and pop shop? I'm trying to get on, you know, at you know, big company AYZ, even though it's the same job, but they paying me $15 an hour as opposed to me making $8 or $9 an hour over here. You know, now it's gonna get to a point where you need a job, period. But then as soon as that opportunity comes, well, you're gonna leave the mom and pop shop and go to the next place, and now there's more turnover for the mom and pop shop as far as them trying to have employees. I think that I think they have to do something. You know, I think they have to do something.
Well, Honcho, I got one more question for you, man.
All right, what's that?
So with you know, I don't know if you know, but the new live action Lion King just came out today, man. It's saying how much money it's gonna make, man. So my question to you, Honcho, I know you got a daughter. Do you feel like remaking these Disney remakes, like these Disney movies, do you think that's a good idea? Would you want your daughter to watch these, or would you rather her just watch the cartoons, you know, the animation?
I introduced the little one to the old stuff, the original stuff, so she can understand where things came from. If she wants to watch the new things, because I know those visuals are appealing. But what you got to understand with a lot of kids too, especially with this CGI technology being as good as it is, small children, they have a hard time discerning. And that's why I think we're in the age that we're in with the way that a lot of these kids think and have no, you know, context. They lack the ability to have critical thinking, higher level thinking skills. I someone mentioned that earlier, because of the quality of some of the CGI. They can't tell real from fake. You know, especially when you're introducing them to this shit at a young age. They're thinking the fucking lines and shit really talk because the shit looks real. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, the lines. I've heard some criticisms that the lions don't have like in the animation you see they have like facial expressions when they're mad, when they're angry, when they're sad, when they're happy. They don't have that in this because they're animated. I mean, well, they're structured and they look like real lines out there. So you can't do all those faces to show real emotion. So yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, the kids gonna be going out to the African safari, jumping out the car. Hey Simba, what's up, my nigga? Rawr, they gonna try to pet me and get angry. But no, but my thing is this, man. But that's up to the parent to teach that, because I told y'all a story a while back that I was trying to show the little one something about snakes, and I was like, you got to be careful about snakes because that they can still bite you even if you cut the head off. And
That's true.
then so I showed her a video of a guy, a snake had got in this guy's garage, and he cut the head off with a shovel, and it was a rattlesnake, and it was still kind of biting. And I showed her that, and then at the end, afterwards, she's like, I don't believe that's real. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't believe it's real? Like, what are you talking about? What, you believe this bullshit. You believe one of these corny ass cartoons on TV and be asking me if this is real or not. But I'm showing you some shit. Why would I just show you this just to lie to you? And she had to kind of really think about it. But I'm like, this is a life or death thing. The shit you watch on TV is clown cartoon shit. But so I think that has an impact. But as far as I show her old school stuff. I mean, we watch old movies and things like that because I want her to understand the origin of a lot of things, not to fall for all the hype. Because I mean, when she's around other kids, they gonna be brainwashing and pushing all kind of shit. There's only so much I can control. These little kids be having cell phones, so she's not gonna have a cell phone until she get older. But they be having cell phones and watching crazy stuff. She come home asking about that Murder on My Mind shit, and knowing she don't listen to no shit like that in this house. Talking about, what is Murder on My Mind? I was like, who the fuck got you listening to that shit? Who the fuck I finna have to go beat up? I finna go
You
beat
too
up.
damn young. You don't even need to know what murder is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over there and start uppercutting third graders and shit, But it is what it is. So I mean, it's tough.
Well, thanks for taking my call, Honcho, man. Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right, Roman, appreciate the call, man.
Man, anytime, man.
Yeah. But my thing is this, and so I understand there has to be some type of rise, but again, who's really benefiting? Because I think the expected losses are like 1.3 million jobs, right? And so they say, that's going to help They said 1.3 million people move up out of poverty, but then 1.3 million people are going to lose their jobs. So who is it really helping? I mean, is it not really a stagnant effect? I mean, does it balance each other out or cancel each other out? Because if you got 1.3 million people moving out of poverty, you got 1.3 million people falling deeper into poverty, or maybe into poverty. So. Okay, and those wages are going to increase, and everything else is going to increase. So how is it really like a benefit? That's my thing. Like, I understand it. I understand that something needs to be done. Something has to be done. But if you increase everything across the board, if you increase the pay, you're gonna increase the cost. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it's going to work. So right now, what's a burger? Might be $4 or $5. I remember when Big Macs used to be like 99. How much is a Big Mac now? I don't even like Big Macs. I'm not a Big Mac fan. But them bitches like what, $3-4 or something like that. I remember when them bitches used to be like 99 cents, $3.99, $4.99. Yeah, I remember when them hoes used to be like 99 cents. So my thing is $10 for a meal. That's what I'm saying. Shit, it's gonna be $10 just for the burger pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? And that's some hoe ass shit. I hate fucking fast food places. Fast food places, they some hoes, man. That's why I gotta let all that shit go. I'm doing a weekly sacrifice. But I hate the fact that you can go to a fast food joint and it's cheaper to get the burger, fries, and soda than it is to say, maybe I just want the burger and fries, right? Like, cause I don't really drink soda like that. So I'll go and say, hey, Dan, let me get the Chick-fil-A burger, and let me get a large waffle fry, cause the waffle fries be hitting. I ain't gonna lie. And then it's the same cost as getting a fucking meal. It's like might as well get the fucking soda. It's cheaper actually to get the fucking meal. Might as well get that whole ass lemonade and give it to somebody homeless or something. Hey, somebody want a free lemonade? Like, I don't be wanting that shit, right? But it's just like it's cheaper to do it. But then it's like I'm not a wasteful person, so it's like I don't want to get it, pay the cheaper price, and then just waste the fucking drink. Like, that is like it's a crazy thing. But see, that's where. Oh, see, Cardi, you want to watch the world burn. You gonna raise that minimum wage. People gonna be upset. Look, here's my deal. Y'all better start growing vegetables, start growing your own food, because the shit is already fucked up. They're gonna find ways to cheapen the food, put more plastic and bullshit in the food. The food quality will get worse. Good food will be significantly more expensive. I still think you're gonna have a lot of greedy ass, landlords and things like that. They're definitely gonna, if the increase rises. Who was that? They said they were in Seattle, and as soon as they raised the wage up in Seattle, that the rent prices increased. Like a couple of places, somebody was saying that all those things is, yeah, they're gonna raise rent. But it's just, to me, it's like, I think it's going to cause a major influx. I'm not saying like doubling the minimum wage. I don't think that's a good idea. Implementing, again, like I say, maybe to $10, but just doubling it, and it hadn't been increased since what, 2009. It's about 10 years ago. I don't know about doubling it. It just seems like it's radical. And the thing is, let's be honest, man. The economics just don't sound right to me. It just seems like it's going to cause an issue. It's going to cause an issue. And the thing is, like, the people who mainly complain about it are the people who do some of the most basic jobs. Like, why is that deserved? And I hate, like, yeah, people deserve a quality of living, but at the same time, you give people more money, they just go more people. If you don't have any kind of financial management skills, you're just gonna blow more money and still be in the same situation. That's it. But it's gonna be less jobs. So how are they gonna do that? I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna change it. I don't think more people are gonna want to work. I think more people, honestly, my opinion is I think more people should go into business for themselves. Now, I know that's a process, and I know it's not easy, and it also takes discipline. But, like, only when I was talking about the soap or things like that, I think people should offer products and, try to combat some of these big name fucking companies. Now, when you blow up and be the next Amazon, everybody's not going to be, but you can find a sustainable business. Like, I think that there has to be separation in things. Let the go-getters thrive. The people who just want to exist, well, they want to exist. Like, how would this work if, society wasn't built the way that it was? Okay? And what I mean by that is, say we all had to, like, what if we all lived in the wilderness? And this is how I think about a lot of things. We all live in the wilderness, and you had to eat and feed and fend for yourself, essentially. You have your tribes and things like that. But, if you're not providing, for the hunt or the kill, or you're not gathering the berries, or you're not doing all that, but you want the same as somebody who's doing above and a little bit more, it just doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I just look at things different. Maybe I look at shit a little fucked up. But to me, it's just like, it's there. I think education, again, is the most important thing, because I don't understand how, we talk about people doing bad, people struggling, and people, but then the same people complain about this, and they got fresh ass J's on, they got more expensive shoes than me, they got, they rocking all, designer name brand, but then they complain about, all these other things. And I'm not saying this is everybody, but it's a lot of people. So I'm figuring out, how are you doing this? How are you able to do these things? You wearing top-notch shit, but you're hollering about struggling. I look at some of the most well-to-do people on the earth, on the planet, or in America, and them motherfuckers look like, I don't know, they look like fucking, I don't know, they just look generic as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You look at Zuckerberg, he wears the same thing basically every day, unless he has to go before Congress and have a hearing. Bill Gates. You look at a lot of these people. Jeff Bezos tried to spice his shit up, and he was over there cheating on his wife. I guess he was trying to attract some new chicks or something. But for the most part, the dude's just plain as fuck. But they don't want to do that. no such thing as too much money. No, I cannot agree with that. There's no cap on how much money you should make. That's no way. I cannot agree with that. And the reason why I say that is because then that kills motivation. That kills this. This is the land of opportunity. Then it's no longer the land of it becomes the land of limitations. If that's the case, like I want to be able to make a fucking $100 million. Like, am I? Who knows? I want to know that I have the possibility to do it. I can't give it the AOC shit. We're gonna take. I'd rather have the money in my hands to do what I want to do than give it to the fucking government. I'd rather, whoever. Talking about like when people saying, "Oh, after 10 million or so, tax at 70." No way. No way. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, again, I think things like what people value is important. And are there some people paying a whole lot of money in rent? Absolutely. Yes, there are. There are some people who are just doing bad, just really trying to get by and trying to make it. There are some people who really want to do better. And then there are some people who are making piss poor decisions on a daily. And then, you know, it's like, well, here, let's help these people out. And they continue to make piss poor decisions. So what I'm saying is, you have a lot of people who know they're doing bad. I mean, know they are living in poverty. Know that they are on the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the tiers of society. And what do these people do? Instead of me saying, hey, let me find a way, let me figure out a way to try to improve my value to society. Let me educate myself on something. Let me learn something. Let me try to improve. Let me figure out where I can improve. Now, I'm gonna go to the club. I'm finna get knocked up. I'm finna watch World Star. I'm finna make sure I catch all the whatever's going on TV and everything else. I'm gonna remain distracted and then continue to live this life and blame someone else. You know what I'm saying? And that's my issue. There's a lot of people like that. Now, this is not to discount the people who are really just got dealt a bad hand. Those people, you got to figure something out for them. But you have too many people nowadays that just feel like because I exist, I should be given. I don't think that. And the reason why I say I don't think that for myself, if I'm not putting out a certain level of effort, if I'm not putting out I don't. And like I said, because I told y'all, whenever these talks first were talking, this was a few years ago. When these talks first came up talking about the $15 minimum wage and it was McDonald's workers working, I was at Mickey D's. I was working at Mickey D's when this was happening. So all of my pride, like, fuck, when nobody else hiring a nigga because of the issues or whatever. So I'm like, fuck it, I gotta eat. And then, like I said, and I'll tell y'all the story. This is not to be braggadocious or anything. But when I working at Mickey D's, so they was only giving $40 fucking dollars an hour. I mean, not 40, barely 40 hours. They give you like 38 hours. I took them checks, and let's be honest, like the Mickey D's checks didn't even really pay the rent. Let's be honest. And I took that shit on my off days. Went and got on Craigslist, found some used lawn equipment, and got to cutting fucking yards, man. Like, so this is why it's just hard for me to, if I can't make excuses for myself, I cannot make excuses for other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, because then it's like, if I do that, then I'm saying I'm better than these people. Well, it's me. I'm so great. These people ain't good enough to do what I did. I don't believe that. I believe every person has the opportunity. If you are able, if your legs work, your hands work, your brain works, you can create. You can do something. And so that's part of my issue. Why I say, like, if I can't make excuses for myself, and I even now, like, I'm not happy with what I could be doing and how much better I could be doing. I get on myself all the time. I cannot make excuses for somebody else, you know, and that's what it is. So like I said, on them off days, and here's the thing, and it would have been smarter probably to say, fuck it, I'm gonna quit Mickey D's. I was making more money. I'd make more money cutting 1 yard than I would spending 8 hours at fucking McDonald's, right? You know what I'm saying? Like point blank, period. And so, you know, and I thought about it quite often. And like I said, so did that till I bought a new lawnmower, had a new lawnmower, wore that motherfucker out. Then some other things happened and some other things changed. And, you know, Progression got a new gig, and in the new gig I was working 70 fucking 80 hours a week, it seemed like. And so I ended up, you know, not continuing the lawn care stuff. And then a bunch of stuff happened. We ain't gonna get into all that today. But until opportunities came, and when I was at Mickey D's, even though I wasn't making no money being there 8 hours a day, I bust my ass, gave the best. I hated people at that time. Like, I was not a people person. They determined to put me in the drive-thru, determined to put me at the register. So I had to interact with people. So I made the fucking best of it. Made a game out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it would be entertaining and so I would take in, like I said, I would read. Well, how can I provide better customer service? I'd read books on customer service, read books on being better at socializing and things like that. And I would get all kind of job opportunities in the fucking job. People that don't know me, hey man, there's a job opportunity. Man, you too good for this. You need to come. So, hey man, I got a background, so I can't, you know, blah blah blah. Well, hey, I'm gonna sit down. We can give it. I still file for it, and still wouldn't be good enough. Like, I cannot make excuses, because then to me that's undermining their ability as a human being. When you close the walls on people, say this is all you're good enough for, this is all you're good enough to get, then it kills their ambition, it kills their ingenuity, it kills their will. And I'm not about that. Like, I think when you see other people who can thrive and who can succeed, that's motivation for you to do. Now, yes, there has to be opportunities to create these things. With big tech taking over a lot of shit, fucking over a lot of things, you know, places like Walmart making it hard for mom and pop shops, you have to be creative. But if motherfuckers are coming up selling bath water, if motherfuckers are coming up doing all kind of off the wall ass shit, if there's 6-year-olds who can have a 6-figure tie business, people can come up with ways to supplement their income, period. All people have skills. You may not take over the whole world, but you can take over your neighborhood. You may not take over the whole world, but you can take over your town. You can take over your side of town, whatever it is, and supplement your income. It doesn't take that much. There's a thing, like I said, 'cause I study a lot of YouTube shit. I read, on things. I don't always implement it and follow it. But they say for you to be truly successful, or for these people who are doing good who are making a living off YouTube, they talk about a thing called 1,000 true fans. And this is free game. I shouldn't be telling y'all this, but this works in anything that you do. 1,000 people, right? And it doesn't always have to just be YouTube. It could be anything that you do. It could be, you know, in any service. But you can make a living if you have 1,000 people who support you. 1,000 is not a big number. What do we have? 300 million, almost 400 million here in the whatchamacallit thing, in the city of Houston area. What do you got? 4 or 5. I mean, just we talk about everything around here. 4 or 5 billion. You got 1,000 people go to your fucking school. You know, if you're in school. But if you can get 1,000 people who truly support what it is that you can end up making a full-time living off what it is that you do. Some things may not require that much. It depends on, again, like margins and everything that goes with that. But man, you know, what you're selling it for. It depends if it's a monthly thing, if it's a service, if it's whatever it is, you know. But they talk about that, people who will support you in your endeavors and your ventures and things like that, that you can make a living. It's not hard to reach out to 1,000 people. And now this is different now. 1,000 people, but 1,000 people knowing about you, and then 1,000 people who support you are two different things. So it may take you spread it out to, you know, 20,000 people to find 1,000 people who really fuck with you or whatever it may be. But that comes to pushing, marketing, and letting the world know about what you got. I don't think it's anybody's job, or I don't think it's anybody's responsibility to give somebody a job. I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's anybody's opportunity to give somebody a job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, then that Kenneth, y'all supposed to start to notice that the clown emoji started looking different. It's gonna start looking like Kenneth's face. That's what I see whenever I see it. Put it anyway. But that's really what it is, man. That's really what it is. And again, so you got a lot of people who just, and I feel bad. This is not to sound like callous or cold hearted, but look, man. When I was down bad, I made a decision. I would not, unless I could give my kid a home, a permanent residence in a neighborhood where they would grow up and be able to have those memories. Hey, you know, this is where I grew up. This is how I live. You know, that I didn't want to have a kid. I didn't want to be hopping from spot to spot, having a kid to move around and deal with all that because the kid, you know, the kid didn't make those decisions. The kid didn't make those choices and have to go. Let me see. I don't know if the line is tripping or not. You know, no, I ain't look. Hey, no, nigga, I didn't call you. Nobody called you. Get out of here. Scram. No, I don't want to see no stretching. Get out of here. But those are decisions that you have to make. But instead, people put their own pleasures before everything else. And I know mistakes happen. It's not always intended that, you know, a child will come out of a situation, but you know the risk of doing certain things when you do it, you know, and you have to deal with those consequences. So a lot of people put themselves in worse situations because of the personal decisions they make for pleasures or gaining whatever it is. And again, I don't think it's anybody's job to fix those issues, man. You know what I'm saying? And so it's unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. It's fucked up, extremely fucked up. But that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. Some of these people, man, they don't care. They don't think about nothing else in addition to any of this stuff. All it is more money. Okay, I can buy more shit. Because that's what's going to happen. Things are going to go up. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hello.
Hello. Miss Rashida, how are you?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Me and Scotty over here chilling. What's on your mind today? It's Free Range Friday. What would you like to talk about?
Shit, nothing. I just want my pistachio. It's too damn hot to talk. Shit, I'm
What?
cool.
What? You pulled a Shannon? You pulling a
heard me
Shannon
throw
on
my
me?
5,000 pistachios up
Nah, it's got to be a meaningful call. Ain't no free stachio call. You got to talk about something.
there. Oh, shit. This heat wave, shit, man.
How hot is it up
Hot.
there?
That's why I ain't been in there. I ain't been around. Shit, it's just been hot. Hey.
Okay. So, how hot is it up there right now?
Shit, they say about 100.
Nah, that ain't
It's gonna
nothing.
be 100 tomorrow. Hey, only I've been missing you too. How you doing, girl?
Nah, that ain't hot. That ain't nothing. That's Chicago heat. That's like 72 in Texas.
Oh shit, yeah, y'all used to it. Shit. We ain't used to it like that. I think it's global warming and shit.
You say it's global warming? Okay.
Yeah, something.
How long?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay hydrated. Only shit, I've been drinking a lot of water.
Scotty, you get out my motherfucking face. Nigga, you trying to
Please
get
Scotty alone. I like Scotty. Scotty
Scotty.
is nice.
Scotty trying to get comfortable and shit, trying to make demands. Look at this nigga. Look at him. Come on, dog. You gotta chill. But I'm getting hairs all in my nose and shit.
You right, Miss Nikki. I don't like the cold weather either. I like it right in between cold and hot.
Mm. Hold on one second. Okay, so, but I mean, Chicago, ain't it mostly cold, or does it have some neutral
Yeah, it's
time?
usually cold, but shit, it's been hot lately.
No, okay.
Wait a minute, you only gave me 1,000. I need 5.
It's 1,000 for a car. Wait, what you mean 5,000? 5,000. What kind of shenaniganery is this? What the?
You right on the heel for troublemaker.
Oh, this is getting on my nerves. There's too much shit going on here.
Where you at only? You in LA?
All right, there we go. But yeah, so okay. So you're saying it's a heat wave. What happened? It's something happened. Something happened that is happening in the media. Uh, that I wanted your context on. So how are you feeling about these new R. Kelly allegations now with the Fed stuff and alleged with the new tapes and things like that?
Um, it's just time for him to go to jail. That's how I feel.
Mm.
By the way, you know what? The thing about R. Kelly, he's a stupid motherfucker. Excuse me, because I know we ain't gonna be able to curse soon, so I might get all my cursing out today.
Yeah, we still cuddling live. We gonna keep the cussing on the live, man. We'll figure the rest of it out.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, you got away with the shit, right? Oh, you know what? I had a little tea. I forgot to speak
Uh oh.
um about R. Kelly.
Okay, what you got?
Well, somebody might have already heard this, but he paid off that girl that he pissed on and her family.
Yeah.
That's why they brought them extra charges back up on this new case for him.
I wonder who told
Yeah,
on that.
sent
Who?
them overseas. They got the payments and everything.
I wonder who
So
told.
that's like tampering with a case.
Mm, mm. So
That's bad shit right there.
who told on that? Who you think hated on that?
That's what I'm trying. That's what I want to know. Who hell it had to be the people he paid off. Shit, the girl family had to tell on.
So
Turn state's evidence on.
they just spent all the money and now they want more.
Yeah.
So see, this is what I'm saying.
You know what his lawyer say? He spent over $2 million. I ain't saying he just gave it to her, but he just spent over R. Kelly spent over $2 million buying these girls' style.
See, but here's the thing: it was worth it then. Then when the money run out, you
Right.
get greedy, and now you want more. And since ain't no more money to come to keep you quiet, now you wanna. It's attention because
Man, them
everybody's hating
people
on
ain't
R.
getting
Kelly.
no damn loyalty to R. Kelly, so they turn the state's evidence on him faster than I don't know what. Them 20 tapes just came from, they say, his employees.
Yeah. See, this is my thing. All the motherfuckers need to go to jail. Everybody involved needs to fucking go to jail. But because
Yeah.
see what it is, it's a big name case, so we can throw him behind bars. It sound good. Who is Rashada? Rashada's the wife or the kid that got peed on? Who is Rashada?
It was one of his artists' niece or something like that he peed on.
That's tough. That's
The
tough.
girl that was in the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why her family didn't want to come forward and say it was him, because he paid them off and they went overseas or something.
That's the best, Shunny
Yeah.
Poo. Yeah, let me know, Shunny Poo. But this is my thing, right? This is my thing. This is hilarious because again, y'all knew all that shit then, but now that every last one of your asses are irrelevant, and there's a bunch of attention around this thing now. Let's talk about I got all this, I got this. Like, man, fuck all them people. Like, whether he did it or not,
Right,
yeah.
they got the checks and everything.
Yeah.
Feds got all. See, that's what people don't realize about the feds. When the feds come for you, they come for you. They ain't coming for you for no 10 years. They finna put your ass down. You ain't never finna get out of jail. But feds come. They dropped all them damn charges on R. Kelly. They don't ever want him to see the light of day. And that's how the feds do. The feds been working on this shit for a minute.
That's tough.
Feds don't just play around. You know what I'm saying? Feds, when they come for you, they come for you. Period.
That's funny.
And see, by him tampering with a case, that really made the feds on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you ban witnesses and stuff, and interfering with investigation and shit. That's fed time right there.
Yeah.
Shit, just off of that alone, shit, he probably ain't gonna never see no more light of day.
That's tough, man.
He probably ain't gonna even have shit to do with what he did. Shit, you messing with witnesses.
Yeah, but my thing is,
You can't do that shit.
It'll
cannot
be
do that.
interesting because they may be able to. I mean, you still got the evidence and everything, but I wonder how they'll be, questionable, making that the witness integrity and all that other shit. Like my thing is this, man. My thing is this. fuck everybody involved. Like, does if R. Kelly did it, yes, he needs to be punished for what he did. But fuck everybody else who involved with it too, because that means they've been sitting on this shit for years, decades, and been knowing this shit. And now that it's attention, why couldn't they come out on their own? Hey, I knew this about R. Kelly, or hey, why couldn't they get been said? Especially social media been around for them long enough to make a big deal about it.
I think we already covered that. We said that he was paying them. Shit, the money ran out.
Yeah.
He can't step in the name of love no more. He can't turn the club up and all this shit. Put out no more bangers.
So that's my
It's a
thing.
wrap.
That's my thing. It's just like, so your integrity is questionable.
You can't
Like
buy no
you
more
just as much of a
sound.
scumbag
You
as
can't buy
anybody
no more
else.
sound. He can't buy no more silence. So shit, he got to pay for what he did.
But that's my thing. You took all that payment, took all that money, so that means that you are
Yeah,
you a
that
scumbag
was
too.
money. I know he regrets that shit.
Yeah.
They got all that money, but they silence, and now they singing like a canary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But so like to me, that's scumbag behavior too. Like
Yeah.
that's so I can't. I mean, all of them should go. Everybody need to be thrown away. If your silence was able to be bought, then you need to go down with it too, because you've been sitting on some shit.
No, they need to go down for selling their goddamn child too,
pretty much.
because you allowed this man to buy your silence when you know that he was raping your daughter. Well, I don't know if people want to say rape, but you know that's statutory rape or whatever. You know, if she was number 13 years old at the time, and you gonna let him pay you off.
Yeah.
So
That's the crazy shit about it is that, but you left her in his head. You knew what the fuck was going on with all that shit. And if you really cared, if it was about your daughter's well-being, knowing that you wanted to keep her safe and all that, you wouldn't have took the money. So basically, you
and
let
then
her
the
know that she's a
family
check.
had turned on. You remember Sparkle? They turned on her and tried to tell her she was crazy and everything. But all this time, you know that you took that money from our kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you tried to make it like she was crazy.
Yeah.
When it was really you and the rest of your family being paid off by him.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's the wild shit. So that basically tells you, we all mad at R. Kelly and people talking about, it's because he preying on a little black girl. But shit, it seemed like the family of the little black girls don't even give a shit.
Wow.
Because they willing
Money
to sell.
should have never been more important than your child and her innocence and her, just sold their integrity. The whole family guilty shit, That's sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, how can you trust your family like that if you ain't nothing but a check to them? You ain't nothing but a,
Exactly.
but it is what it is, motherfuckers is.
And I wonder, did some of these parents bring their young daughters around, hoping to get a payday off? I hate to say it like that, but hoping, R. Kelly will take a liking to him.
Man, absolutely they did. They absolutely did, and they were willing to do so.
Disgusting. You sacrifice your child innocent for a check.
Yeah.
That's so disgusting, and I don't even want to think that a parent, you're not even a parent to do some shit like that. You just a disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah,
So,
that's wild shit.
Because R. Kelly would have never, ever been able to prey on the black community like that if he didn't have no money.
Yeah, but they let him. Hold on 1 second here. I know they're supposed to be doing some little security sprinkler check thing. So I'm trying to make sure there ain't the people coming in. Because if I have to fight my own, y'all see me think somebody running up in here and have to whoop somebody on stream. Scotty. Attack, Scotty, attack. Go, attack. Nigga like, nigga, please, I ain't finna do this shit. Nah.
You got air conditioning in that garage, shit, or a fan, shit, it's too hot.
Yeah, it's a fan in here, but that shit don't do shit. That shit alright, but I gotta keep it on low because if it get too high, it may make too much noise and shit get on my damn nerve.
Oh, you know what else I want to talk about? I want to talk about Ariel, the Black Mermaid now.
Yeah.
My thoughts on that is I don't like it.
Okay.
I think I'm tired of them giving black people they leftovers, like making a new James Bond, Lady Black, and then making this and just changing the shit to make them a black. Like we gonna run out and see it. I ain't going to see shit. First of all, it's too damn hot to go anywhere. And second of all, I'm gonna get it on bootleg. I mean, I ain't say bootleg. I meant to say something else other than bootleg. But anyway, we need our own shit. Make us something fresh and new. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody old recycled shit they ain't using no more.
Yeah.
It would have been nice for them to create a Black Mermaid character,
Yeah.
Disney character that
Yeah.
featured that young lady
And that's what
instead
I'm
of
saying.
taking Ariel and making her black. That's just lazy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's the people ain't getting creative with their own stuff.
Exactly.
They not, they just want to copy and paste the story, man. You know what I'm saying?
And like of all the white people stuff, not all the white people, some white people getting upset. Don't be upset. You still got your memories for Ariel or whatever. This not even for you. This for a new generation of people. So you got your white Ariel with her red hair, and then we gonna have the black Ariel. So it is what it is. You shouldn't look at it like they trying to take something from you. They just adapting it for a different audience. That's all. Because can't nobody never replace the classic or take away from it. So,
This is true. This is true. This is true. Why don't you think niggas don't create their own stuff? Why do you think it's always about just going and replacing and being a new character as opposed to creating something new on their own?
because people are already familiar with it, it's just a money grab thing.
Okay.
They might not want to take a chance on creating something new that might not do it.
Scotty is
That's a good say about making money.
Scotty is not the new co-host because he does not add anything to the conversation. He just sit here and follow my hand, trying to fucking.
I hope you giving Scotty water and everything. It's
Yeah,
hot,
he,
dog. Still hot too.
yeah, he good. He good. Yeah, he all right. What is that? I'm
He
trying to.
need air conditioning his little dog out.
Mm, trying to figure out what is. Oh, I see.
Some people be treating their dogs just like kids and stuff.
Yeah, Scotty's spoiled in a bitch. He is. Scotty's spoiled in a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Mhm.
Good grief. Okay.
And they don't even let R. Kelly out on bail. Yeah. They must really think he's gonna escape. But some people don't want to see R. Kelly in jail. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah. Damn. Scotty does start trouble. Y'all don't see it. Y'all can't see the trouble he started. I'm gonna give a shit about TK.
Scotty don't find no trouble. Scotty cool.
Scotty just be waiting. See, as soon as y'all don't see him on camera, Scotty get activated. He be setting it off, causing all kind of issues, problems, and troubles. Y'all just don't want to believe it. You know what I'm talking about. But I agree, man. Yes, a lot of people who regret their old actions and now they want to feel like they get some type of vindication. But see, what people do, people are funny. That's why I say, man, it's just tough when it comes to dealing with people. You got to know people because in their
Mhm.
mind, after all the money runs out, they'll justify to themselves,
Mhm.
well, he was really a bad person. He deserves this. He took advantage of me by giving me the money because I was weak and this, and they'll justify
Mhm.
them accepting all the money. Then they'll convince themselves that this is the right thing to do, but it's only the right thing to do now that the money has run out. And that's what I say, man. It's a lot of scumbaggery. It's a lot of fucking foolishness.
Right, they out of a job. They trying to shit. I don't know. I don't know. And them girls he got at the Trump Tower, they might as well just go home now. Shit, who gonna pay that rent?
Mm,
Shit. We can pay that rent at the Trump house, please.
Yeah, that's tough. Maybe he paid it off for the year.
Well, they need to be trying to make some money before the year up.
Mm. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Them parents, look, once they get up
You
out of
know
that,
what I had heard?
hmm.
I had heard about. I don't know if it's true about the kids that was trying to immigrate over here, sleeping on floors and rats and shit, and I don't wonder what's going on with that. Did you hear anything about that? You know how they be holding them at the border or something?
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Oh,
I don't know.
oh, you don't think it's
I
true?
don't know about that.
Mm-mm.
Tough. Uh,
All I know is if you trying to get over here, you better run faster so they don't catch you, because you don't want to be held up in no, or you better swim faster or
man,
something.
what you mean though? I mean, they come over here, they go holler at Ice Bay, they can get in the cage, they have something interesting to look at, you know.
No, you don't want to get caught. Shit, they gonna make you sleep on the floor. You might well stay in your country. Shit.
But man, I mean, you got running water, you got because you know they say that Mexico water will give you the
They say them
BGs.
people got rats and them it be rats in there and they sleep on the floor and don't hardly feed them. Shit, I know they doing better than that in their country, ain't they?
This depends. I guess it depends on what part you're coming from because shit. I mean, look, you sheltered, you're getting some food. Look, shit, Wendy's got rats. You know, these fast food places got rats. Motherfuckers still eating that food. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. It's got to be better than crossing the motherfucking desert. And I'm not saying those are the most humane conditions, but we can't act like it was anything different. A lot of these photos that they've been using have been from a certain old presidency who deported way more people, but we're not going to get into that. You know, that's another conversation. But so it's all of a sudden a thing now. That's what I say right now. A lot of this
Don't
shit, man.
tell nobody this, but I think next door to me, my neighbors, I think they be illegal and stuff. Cause I I heard someone talking about they just got here from Mexico, drove here from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they legal though.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, them damn people, they be so happy. They be over there celebrating, howling at the movie, drinking their Corona. I'm like, damn, how bad is Mexico? Y'all motherfuckers got to celebrate shit every other day or every day. You saying it loud there.
Hey man, it's life. Life is good.
Family and shit.
You gotta be happy
They
that
be
you woke up.
barbecuing and shit.
Oh, see, that's what it is. You man,
Yeah,
they ain't invite you none of that barbacoa. That's what the problem
I
is.
don't want that shit.
See, now you
It do
better,
be smelling good though.
man, you better tell me y'all sleeping on the SA partners, man. The Mexicans barbecue, they can throw down on the pit now. Don't sleep on them. They got a little, they got something on there when it comes to the pit, you know. So I can't
They
judge
nice, but they be playing they damn music too loud and howling at the moon too much. Shit, think.
them. Do you put bleach in your bath water, Miss Rashida?
Do I what?
Do you put bleach in your bath water?
In the bath water or the water you wash dishes with?
In the bath water.
No, why would I do that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just
That's weird. That's weird. Like, damn, how fucking dirty are you? Like, I can understand it. I heard people doing it for they dishes. Mm-mm. No.
okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm just curious.
No stuff. Yeah, that sounds weird and crazy. Mm-mm. Do you?
No, I don't do that.
Oh.
It was a question that was presented last night, so I was just wondering if you did, if you may have.
Who asked some shit like that? That sounds weird as hell.
Yeah, look, they're gonna be talking like that future song, "The Feds Did a Sweep." They're gonna,
Yeah, you can get some weirdos in there.
She finna call ICE on them.
Mhm.
But give me a second. Well, here's the deal, Miss Rashid. I actually got take a honcho hiatus real quick. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we end the call and I go throw this dog away?
Are you finna end this then, or you just finna
No.
go use the bathroom?
I just gotta go take a honcho hiatus. This nigga, you just really gonna just plant yourself on the desk, huh? You just gonna get comfortable, right? That's what's cool. That's what we doing in the hood now. All right.
Okay then.
All right. Well, Miss.
I want my other 4,000
What?
pistachio.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know about four. That's tough. That's a tough situation right there. We'll see. We'll see what I come about. But maybe I put some pistachio on the layaway plan or something. I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Well, alright then.
Well, I appreciate your call, Miss Rashida.
Okay then, take care.
All right, you too.
Alright, bye.
All right, give me just a second. I'm gonna go throw Scotty away and take a quick honcho hiatus. I will be back shortly. There we go. All right. We back. What was it? Oh, the trial will be televised. Well, hopefully so. That's. I'm telling you, I'm going in. Kemah says, but man, I'm telling y'all, man, there's been so much shit going on. And these motherfuckers knew it. 335. These motherfuckers knew it. They all part of the shit. And that's the problem. Like, this is the problem with these motherfuckers. Like, and I hate society because society loves to act like certain things don't happen. Man, man, look, this country, every country in the world, there's a bunch of low life shit going on. When you're dealing with human beings, there are top notch people. There are middle of the pack people. There are scumbags. All people do bad things, okay? Everybody does something bad. Now, it's the degree and the amount of bad that you do that I think determines your character. You got people who 95% of the time they're doing the right shit. 95 and up. 95 to 99% of the time they're doing the right shit. I'll even give the high 90s because if you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to do the right thing, I'll give you brownie points. I don't know, because one time could be major. But then you have people who are 50-50 kind of people, you know? So half the time they'll do the right shit, half the time they'll do the wrong shit. And then you have the people who are just scummy, just trash individuals. And the majority of the time they're going to pick the negative outcome. They're going to pick the wrong thing to fucking do. And what you have to realize, we have a lot of those people here. People know right from wrong. People do. No matter what environment you were raised up in, no matter what neighborhood, no matter what community, any of these things, people know right from wrong. People just choose to use that as an excuse, to use that as a factor. It may not always be easy to do the right thing. You may have a proclivity to do the wrong thing, but that doesn't mean that you don't know right from wrong. It's about the choice that you make. Let me see. And so that's part of the problem, is just that we love to make excuses for people. Let's be honest, man. You know right from wrong. Motherfuckers watch a movie, you know when the character make the right decision and the wrong decision, goddamn. If you can see somebody else do it, you can do it for yourself. It's what people choose. And so, but we make a lot of excuses. Well, they didn't know it. Yes, the fuck they did. They just chose not to. Well, the environment that they were, okay. There's a lot of motherfuckers making the right decisions in those same environments. What were we talking about before the call? We were talking about minimum wage and some things, and then we were talking about Vegas. But yeah, the Vegas thing. The people who said that they want to do the B&B, and then kind of everybody else is going to, kind of being responsible for their own accommodations, but we will centralize the meet and greet at the B&B, and then we'll make sure nobody's drunk driving or anything, but we'll make sure everything is on the up and up. So, but those of you who are on the Facebook chat who said that y'all are wanting to do the B&B, I need to make a separate chat because I don't want to overload the Facebook chat with stuff. Maria G gonna be there. She gonna be in that thing. It is November 8th in Las Vegas, and the weekend of November 8th in Las Vegas. And so if you're on the Facebook chat, I'm gonna make a separate chat so that way, like I said, to show y'all the place that I've been looking at, and then we'll go from there. And then working on an itinerary to do a couple of things. Some very good suggestions from Miss Carday. So I definitely got to get on that because shit, July's down and almost over with. So, like I said, expect another separate chat, because I know there's a bunch of chats in the Facebook group. So another separate chat for those who want to stay at the B&B, so we can arrive at a conclusion for that, and then we'll go from there. That's, I guess, the next step in going, because there's like 4 locations that I was looking at. Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I hadn't really posted. I've been saying I'm gonna post some more stuff in there, but I'm like, should I just start another chat? Is that too many goddamn chats? But It's the best way to do it. And then I'll just relay the information to everybody else, either via email or text or whatever other platform we're currently operating on. So there's that. Yeah, outside of that, I think I mean that'll be the next step, and like I said, we'll work out the details from there. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. So, but all that for anybody else who may be interested, like I said, if you're on Facebook, if you're not in the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. The link is in the description below. Or whatever other social media that you're on, and just let me know that you're interested, and I'll try to get it all together, and we'll go from there. It was something else, and I thought about it when I went upstairs, and I get distracted so goddamn easy. I got social media generation attention span. Okay. Just you, I don't know if you're on any other social media. If you are, I don't know if you are or not, but if you are, just send me a message so that way I have a way to contact you and let you know what's what. What were you doing there, Sourberry? But no, so the thing about it, like I said, is just that, we were talking about Ariel, and that's another thing, we were talking about black community. We started off talking about some black community stuff. This is my thing too, is when we come with black folks and we want to be recognized and all this other stuff, like, why not be recognized for creating your own shit? Why not have, black creators create stuff and tell amazing stories, not just get behind something just because it says black. Or like, you gotta understand, like, I think a lot of people have been programmed, us people, black folks, have been programmed to the word black or African American. This is an African American story. This is a tale of a black story. So automatically, we gotta gravitate towards it. We're like, no. Why can't we have good stories? Why can't we tell great epic stories? And the characters just happen to be black because we created the characters or whatever it may be. Why does it have to be a story that's been retold, but let's just change it up this time, and it's a half black Spider-Man, or it's a black Little Mermaid now, or whatever else the fuck is gonna be. Like, why can't we just create new shit? And guess what happens when you create new shit? You own that shit, and you actually make money off that shit. We love Black Panther. Black Panther, we're crazy. Black Panther, Black Panther's gonna change the world. Man, how many niggas besides the actors, when that movie started making money, as much money as it did, the actors were gonna get paid what they were getting paid regardless. When that movie went on at that time to break whatever records it was breaking, we know it made this much money. Black Panther made this much. Who didn't make all that fucking money? Didn't make them niggas no more money. They didn't get any more money off of it. They got paid what they got paid. So when you don't own shit, when you don't operate shit, this is what I'm getting to. And this is not a knock on anybody else, but they own and they operate their shit. So if I own and operate my shit, but I just so happen to tell a black story, but I'm gonna capitalize off of it if I'm of a different race. That's why I tell you, look at all these documentaries that we love so much. From all of them. Go look at any documentary about a black event that is taking place, and then go look at the credits. It's not black people that are profiting. It's not even black people that are telling the story. They may get a black face to represent it, and then you got to think, well, why is this? Why is this the way that is? You got companies in Sweden, you got companies in fucking in Norway and all across the international companies that are putting out these documentaries here in America about the problems that black people are facing in America. Ain't even no niggas in them countries. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, so you stopped at the beginning, buddy flew out the hood. That's tough. Like I said, it's a movie. It's not that, to me, I don't think it was just terrible. It's the worst movie ever. I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was great. It's just, it is what it is. I personally thought Killmonger, Again, I always root for the bad guy. I was rooting for Killmonger. I was rooting for Thanos. I always root for the bad guy. I was rooting for Bane. I was rooting for the Joker. I always root for the bad guy. But you're not missing anything if you don't see Black Panther, unless you into that Marvel universe stuff. Then I guess you got to see parts of it. But I mean, I missed a bunch of movies, so it has no big deal to it. But all I'm saying is this: we as Black folk, we'll go celebrate all this shit and promote all this shit, surface level shit. That's the problem. It's always surface level shit. It loves, oh yeah, do a fucking celebration. I'm dressing up as Black Panther this fucking Halloween. All right, cool. Wakanda forever, my nigga. Wakanda ain't making no money off of that shit, if Wakanda even existed. So all I'm saying is, I think we misconstrue the messages a lot, and we look for a lot of surface level shit. And usually it's surface level shit that makes us feel good about ourselves. It's too much. Like sometimes you got to deal with the tough shit, and you got to deal with the real shit to have a better understanding of how to move and operate. And too many of us, one, we look for that happy shit because we put a lot of negativity on ourselves. And so when we want some happy shit with some overwhelmingly over promotional bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And so it is. Yeah, no, Sweetberry be cheating. Not Sweetberry don't be in here all the time coming here stealing pistachios and violating and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I feel the way I feel about it. Like I say, I know a lot of people that, oh, so you hating on niggas, you hating on it. It's not that, man. It's like I look at stuff and I don't want to see the right now. I want to see what's the future. What is the long term successes that can be gained from certain actions. And a lot of the stuff that we do, it's that instant gratification. And once that shit is over with, you're looking for the next piece of instant gratification. You're looking for the next, what's the thing that can make me happy or feel good about myself? What's the next thing I can do to make me feel like, instead of, a little blood, sweat, and tears, building, creating, pushing, and then having some long-term success. But I don't know, that might be too much. That might be asking too much. All I'm saying is that I think we got to up our standards. Period. I think that's my thing as a whole. When it comes to but that's the same thing I'm saying about anybody though, because it ties back into the minimum wage thing. Should it be raised? Yeah, a little bit. Things have gone up. 10 years. A lot of things have gone up, but just to not instantly, but to double it, I think that's a lot. I think you give people a little bit more leverage, but I think you gotta, I don't want to say incentivize, but you gotta motivate people to want to do better. Minimum. That's a terrible thing. Minimum wage. And you start somewhere. But it's the lowest of the low that you can go. It's like, you should want better. Like, you shouldn't want to do anything. And what happens though is this, like I say, because the minimum wage will go up. And this is what I was talking about. The minimum wage will go up, but effort and production will not increase. Because what y'all know niggas, y'all know people, well, not just niggas, I'm talking about every racist niggas is getting lumped into this one. What do people do? I'm only getting paid minimum wage anyway, so I'm gonna do the minimum. I ain't getting paid enough for this. Why are you not getting paid enough? Because you ain't put in work. That's why you have to work a minimum wage job, because you haven't built up a resume. You haven't put in the work. You haven't put in the effort to get the education or to get whatever. And then you come in here and complain, well, I'm only getting minimum wage, so I'm gonna do minimum effort. That's why you're in the situation you're in your life at this time, because you're just doing the bare minimum. Like, if people put more effort into what it is that into themselves, the value comes out. I sincerely believe this. And I think that things are worse off because, let's be honest, society as a whole is worse off than it was in the 90s. People, man, look, people are living vicariously through the fucking internet, the social media and stuff like that. People are scummy. Come on, you telling me in the 90s? Now, in the 90s it might have been happening, but they weren't promoted. People are running around licking fucking ice cream, spitting in fucking sodas and mouthwash. Like, you telling me that people deserve more? This is the generation that we're living in. This is where we're at in life. People are fucking twerking down the middle of the street. This is attention. This is people are making, and again, I'm not saying that there wasn't porn, there wasn't all this other stuff, but this is like what is being embraced more so than ever. Sex workers. I think we may be talking about that. It's one or two things. We're either going to talk about sex workers tonight on Talking Dirty After Dark, or we're going to be talking about something else I have in mind. All right, Miss Meek. But we embrace them. You know, sex workers want to be demand. They want to demand respect, just like doctors and CEOs and lawyers and everything else. Kiss my ass. It's like, I'm not gonna give you credit. I'm not gonna knock you for being a sex worker. You out there hoeing and it's the best thing going. And you eating, cool. But I'm not gonna say, well, I respect her so much for popping that pussy on the gram. Hey, man, she's a queen. Kiss my motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, legalize it. I have no problem with that. But I'm not going to sit here and say, that's like me saying the McDonald's worker deserves the same level of respect as the owner. Or it's like, it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give you credit for doing something everybody does and most people doing fucking for free. I don't even know what most people do it for. It's just something like you always paying. You're paying time, paying attention, you're paying something. So all I'm saying is that's the problem. Like, people want respect for nothing. This generation is entitled, and not even just the generation, just this era of people. Because it's not even just the youth, it's not even the young adults. It's this era because even the older folks are seeing what the younger people are doing and starting to feel the way that they feel. And so that's my issue. This is my problem. And I don't know, we might talk about sex workers tonight. We're either going to talk about sex workers or I have it's kind of a throwback episode from some old Christians. I said I'm going to do some old things. We're either going to talk about sex workers, swingers, or why people watch porn. It's going to be one of those three. I'm not sure yet. It's going to be one of those things. Yeah, I'm not sure which one yet. We got a bunch of topics that we got to rehash. So we have a lot of new personalities in the den. So we got a lot of topics that we have to. I would love to hear some of the new ideas or some of the newer folks' ideas on some of these. Even though the den is steadily dropping, I am hemorrhaging subscribers. YouTube don't like what a nigga talking about. People don't want to hear what a nigga talking about. And you know what? I don't give a shit. Not sex working. Women. What? Man, that Tyreek Hill situation is very interesting. We definitely got to get further into that. That's something that we definitely got to get into. Yeah, straight up. It's going back down. Back to 4K. Let's do it all over again. Yeah, so I know what it is. I'm going to be honest. And I think I got to go back to, I don't even know if they hating on the news. Like, I know they hating on politics. Google is definitely hating on politics. Independent political commentary, because you got to understand, you got certain people who are putting up, individuals who are putting up numbers better than CNN and Fox and MSNBC on their videos as an individual. But you got these companies that are paying YouTube, money to promote their videos and to put it in your face. Cause I get videos from these places. I don't even watch that shit. I'll watch somebody else video. The next thing you know, here comes a Daily Show video. I used to watch Daily Show like years ago. I watched little clips here and there in between either that or a Key and Peele clip or something like that. But they promote like almost after everything. They try to send me like a Daily Show video. I don't watch that shit. I'm not the biggest fan of Trevor Noah. Like I've seen some of his stand-ups and they're funny, but I don't necessarily agree with his political views. It just is what it is. And I understand, it's supposed to be on par with Jon Stewart, but it's just some of the shit is too far. Stop talking about women. Nah, look, y'all talk about men all the time, goddamn. Somebody got to defend us. You know what I'm saying? So it's plenty to talk about. there's plenty to talk about. We'll get into it. But yeah, so what I think I have to do is I have to go back to, because at first I was talking more newsy stories. I wasn't really talking political shit. But then, like I said, I started noticing it started to stagnate when I did a couple of stories about the Democrats and, you know, the debates and little things that I started noticing how the analytics started looking different. So there's that. Yeah, there's sex working men. I guess those are the ones who keep dying at Ed Buck's house. The big time Democratic donor, 2 or 3 little niggas that died at his house full of dope and drugs, but for some reason he has not gone to jail. There has been like motherfuckers dying in his house on multiple. Oh well. Well, Lee been in the mix. Lee been commenting here and there. He commented a couple times. I want to say last night or the other night, but I don't think he called in a minute. We need to talk about sliding over to Area 51. That's what we need to talk about. We might have to do that for Supernatural Saturday. We ain't had a Supernatural Saturday in quite some time, so that might be a good idea. I believe Impaler Monarch is Lee, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I might be wrong. I might be giving somebody else credit for Lee, the name, but I think Impaler Monarch is Lee. Are there sex? I want to believe there's sex working men. Obviously, the jail model who got with the billionaire chick. You know what I'm saying? That's a government plot to go get the virus. Y'all better strap up. But my thing is this. Yes, I know what I got to do. I know what I have to do to hopefully get back on track. Hopefully, they ain't just permanently we're gonna cancel this Negro. But I know what I got to do to build the den. But make sure too that you guys are. I'm waiting for the little thing to pop up one last time. That's why I'm just rambling right now. Make sure y'all go to the Den Show podcast and make sure you're following the Den Show podcast on that site. I got to figure out the issues because it's not showing up on Google Play or iTunes, and I think it has to do with the name change because I gotta. Spotify finally got back with me. I've delayed it, but they got back with me, so I'm gonna be. I gotta send them an email, some information here shortly after the stream, and hopefully the Den will be on Spotify and the rest of these things can get fixed. But make sure you go to denshowpodcast.com because tomorrow will be a live Den, but it will be just the audio. But if you go to Den Show Podcast, there is a chat available. There's a chat available, a live chat available with the podcast. So you can listen in and do whatever you're doing if you still want to be in the chat, you know, doing all kind of tomfoolery and shenaniganery. It will be accessible. Now, it won't have, unless, I don't know, I have to look and see if it's possible, but it won't have the bot and all that stuff with it. But, you know, the chat will be accessible to talk about whatever we're talking about. So I'm going to give that a test run probably Saturday and Sunday to see how that works. Okay, there we go. Ed Honcho HTX, if you want to follow my personal social medias, like the video, subscribe, share. That's the way we grow. Share it with like-minded friends. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Den Show Live at Gmail. Always go, everything is Den Show Live. This will be the last one for the week. As far as the morning den, Friday, Saturday, we will have evening dens. Tomorrow may be a Supernatural Saturday. We'll see. Den Show Podcast. That's very important. Remember that. Den Show Podcast. Go there. Tomorrow we will have a live audio. You want a shirt? Hey, never seen a hater in real life shirt? Go to Den Show Shop. Get some Den Show merch, a variety of items. 833-284-3336. Text, call, send links, send screenshots, picture messages, funny memes, whatever. You can text the Den line. You want to support the channel, go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show, and shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Miss Grace, Stina Starry-Eyed, James, Dan, Diana, Betty Spaghetti, Donald Trump, and Miss Goya. I appreciate all of you for having long-term faith in this community. And as we continue to grow, as I figure out, you know, little tweaks and things here to get this all back on track. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And Scotty says, Fuck y'all, Scotty's a hater. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there are male sex workers somehow. We'll talk about it. I don't know. Like I said, it's gonna be one of those three things we're gonna talk about tonight. But with that being said, I'm out. Guard your pistachios. Sweet Berry will steal all your shit. You think you got some pistachios, you come back and they gone. You can't trust her around your nuts. That's all I got to say. Do 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 do. That's all you get.